I've been bitten by various things. Wow, here we go.
Where are you? Bats are exciting, and I used to always handle snakes, and now at least handle spiders and frogs and everything people are worried about.
Whether it's the world's most beautiful animals or the creepiest, Richard and Carol Foster have captured them on film.
Take 2, scene 70.
Look, no leeches.
You bit me.
Biting you.
I know he's biting.
I remember this thing running up my naked body, and it gave me the total heebie-jeebies. Big snake, big snake. When you really want to do something bad, it's amazing what you can put up with.
Richard and Carol Foster are driving to work through the Central American rainforest near their home in Belize.
Now I remember this road.
The journey is rough on their four-wheel drive,
Just stay to your left.
and it will soon get rougher for the Fosters and their team.
There's a big hole there.
But if you're a wildlife filmmaker, you have to go where the animals are. For their current National Geographic film, the animals are bats, and their destination is one of the biggest bat caves in Belize.
This film is about predatory bats. Bats in the rainforest that go around and jump on birds and catch frogs and things like that. Okay, well, there's going to be quite a bit of hand stuff, I think, to take.
It's not the first time the Fosters have come here to film bats, but today's mission is special. They've brought along a thermal camera that registers heat rather than light. It's just the thing for filming in pitch-black caves. If all goes well, they'll show bats as they've never been seen before.
Most of the stuff's going to go down inside, so keep it right here for a minute.
They've hiked uphill to reach the cave entrance. Now they have to go down.
Okay, that's secure here.
The team and all their equipment will have to traverse a 30-foot drop into the cave.
You need to bring it around the other side of the stalactite. There we go. Okay. Whoa!
For most people, a dark cave full of thousands of bats would be the stuff of nightmares. But that's not what's bothering Richard.
I'm just deathly scared of heights.
I remember my name. Holy Alrighty.
Can't see it. Okay, Frank, you got it. Okay, you got it.
It's taken 3 hours to get here, but they don't have much time to film.
That's all right.
At dusk, the bats will start flying out into the night to feed.
No, we don't want to tip these upside down, okay?
So the Fosters have to hurry. They descend into the darkness, down a steep incline of rock and mud.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, this is a butt one. That's the only way to go.
It's a Grand Central Station of a cave, this, isn't it? It's a monster.
The Fosters know they're not alone in here. Hidden in the darkness are all kinds of creepy crawlies. Not to mention thousands of bats.
Going into a bat roost, it's a pretty unhealthy place. These bats are all sitting around the roof and they crap down on you, and there's piles of guano on the floor, and the temperature is higher than it is outside. It's sort of Turkish bath feeling about the whole place. There's airborne diseases that the bats propagate in the guano. The main feeling is you want to get the job done and get the hell out, quite frankly. But it's worth going in there just to get the images. Okay, we're going to need that in the cave.
Okay.
So we're going to need to take that in.
How long are you going to be in there?
I don't know, Carol. Benson. I should think. I
might
think
take
no
sound.
more than an hour. Okay, let's move it then. Go do it.
While Richard and the crew head deeper into the cave, Carol stays behind to record sound. But there's another reason she's not going with them.
The reason I'm not going further into the cave is because I have a health problem. I have multiple sclerosis, and so I don't want to get any infection because it'll make my problem worse. My nerves might get infected, and I might, maybe lose the use of my arm or my leg. So it's best that I do not go in there.
As it turns out, Carol doesn't have long to wait. By the time Richard and his team were ready to shoot, the bats had flown off into other caverns.
And it seems sensible to us to just simply pull out, set up where we were up the top here to get the emergence of the bats. Okay, we'll shoot from here, I think.
The Fosters are setting up for a shot they could never have attempted before.
Thank you.
The cave is simply too big to light. But with the thermal camera, it's heat, not light, that counts. Jeff Frank helped develop the system.
So what we're looking at here, we turn all of our lights out, look up and see the nice little warm bats glowing like light bulbs against the cave walls because they're much warmer than the cave walls. You see them flying in the air.
This is really...
It's like a starry night.
Yeah,
Look at that.
exactly like a starry night.
You want more detail in the stalactites, or you just want them darker?
Detail, I think, if we can.
That's really nice. Keep it there.
You going to record that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's shoot.
Shooting.
It's starting to go out.
What was once hidden in darkness has finally been revealed. For the Fosters, the long, hard day has paid off.
That was great.
That's good.
I guess it's a wrap. Thermal wrap. I want to share the lighting.
Do you know what? We need to catch another fishing bat.
Richard and Carol Foster shoot some of their most demanding sequences right here in their own backyard. Over the years, they've built a movie studio here in the forest for filming animal behavior close up.
All right, here we have a walkway for the jaguar. Actually, he's going right now and growling. Come on, Mick. His name is Mick Jaguar. Come on, Mick.
Come on.
Come on.
He was orphaned as a baby and brought to the zoo.
Yeah.
We took him over as a tiny little cub.
Yes.
As you can see, they don't tame down. They're not little pussycats.
Yes. And they're not good to have as pets.
There's not much chance this jaguar would be mistaken for a pet. The Fosters go to great lengths to film animals behaving exactly as they do in the wild.
We try and get the background exactly right. We bring in the right plants, we bring in rocks, even the soil we bring in. And sometimes it take 4 months, 4 months to get a set exactly right.
Obtaining these insights into animal behavior is a challenge. And in Belize, much of that behavior can only be captured using specially constructed habitats.
If you want to see these animals at all, you have no alternative. It's not like Africa where you can go out in a vehicle and
exactly.
It's completely unlike it. And a lot of critics don't realize that. They think, well, they make films
Why
in Africa, but not this part of the world.
It's impossible.
Yeah. And jaguars are a perfect example of the kind of animal that you have to do in a set. And they've got you beat in the forest. I mean, you cannot get close to one. Come on.
Shooting a fishing bat feeding at night is virtually impossible. But on a pond, Richard and Carol attempt to film one striking a fish at just the right spot for their camera.
They catch it every time.
Every time.
Incredibly good at doing it.
So that's how we can get the shots of slow motion.
The Fosters can't just order bats from a catalog. They have to recruit their actors in the wild. Today, they're off to round up some members of the supporting cast. There are no lions or tigers here, but there are poisonous snakes and a particularly distasteful insect.
There's a species of fly that lives down here that lays its eggs on mosquitoes, and the mosquito comes along and lands on you to bite you, and the egg hatches from the leg of the mosquito and crawls into the wound of the bite. And over several weeks it grows into a maggot in the skin, and it eats the living flesh, and it gets really quite painful, and you can only get them out by suffocating them. You have to
or
suffocate
burning them.
Well, you can, yes, but if you put tape over the top, you can suffocate them and then pull them out by their tail ends. And very nasty customers, and they're really quite common here sometimes.
Got it?
Yeah.
The Fosters have come here to collect insects called reduvids, better known as assassin bugs. These cave dwellers feed on the blood of animals. They earned their nickname from the way they do it, inserting a stiletto-like proboscis and sucking out the blood as if through a straw. They also can carry a disease potentially fatal to humans. That makes it a rather creepy casting call for the Fosters, since they will act as bait for the bloodthirsty bugs.
You have to go in and you have to sit down and wait.
Right.
And they're actually attracted by the heat and carbon dioxide that we're giving off.
And that's how
And
they
they crawl down, and they'll actually bite you if they get half a chance. All right. Should have brought a book. We seem to spend a lot of time waiting. You found one already? Yeah. Hey, we got one coming. Tick.
Oh, yeah, you.
Didn't take them too long, did it? I don't get bit now. Don't ever get in the hole. All right, hang on. Let's get the tin. We can actually lever out the stinger, can't we?
Yeah.
All right, come on. Drop him in.
He
There we are.
just exuded something.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we ought to get these guys on the set. And Karen and I complement each other very well. We couldn't make these films as individuals. We really couldn't. It's too wide a breadth of stuff to get done. And we both have respect for each other and what we do.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
look at them. Look, yeah.
Get me on the camera.
Yeah, take this. Don't get a chance like that very often. We're actually both very different kinds of people. I'm much more laid back. Carol revs much higher than I do.
There it is.
He's come back.
There it is.
I tend to get a bit mentally lazy sometimes, and she gives me a quick kick, when that happens, and I try and calm her down when she gets too hyper, So we have a pretty good effect on each other, actually.
Yeah.
It works well.
On another film for National Geographic, the Fosters got to know one of the world's biggest snakes, the anaconda. They followed Jesus Rivas, a scientist researching anaconda behavior in Venezuela. Rivas's favorite method of finding the snakes was to feel for them underwater with his bare feet.
To get his respect, which was actually I was quite happy to do, was take my shoes off as well. You've got stingrays, which if you tread on one and it stings you, that's 3 months out of your life. They're very, very bad, very poisonous. You've got electric eels, which put out 500 volts, and they'll knock you straight out of the water if you get shocked by them. The snakes actually are not aggressive when they're in the swamp because they're used to being trodden on by other animals. It's only when you start grabbing them and hauling them out, that's when they start turning around and biting you.
As it turned out, the Fosters faced a much more serious threat than the anacondas during their time in Venezuela.
All of a sudden, I had these sharp pains in my spine, and when I got up, my right leg wouldn't work at all, and I was dragging it. And then my left leg went, and then we decided you better medevac me out of there.
Carol had been bothered by a mysterious illness for a number of years, but this was the first time it was correctly diagnosed.
And the doctor said, well, I think you have multiple sclerosis. I didn't want to go back to the States or anything. I wanted to go back to the film because I spent so much time getting it to that spot. So I said, I'm going back to the field. Take 2, scene 70. And I was either in a wheelchair or somebody was always carrying me.
It's a good job you're light. We could lug you around.
Yeah, they carried me. And I said, I'm going to every scene. Hurry up, hurry up. There you go, there you go. Beautiful shot. And now I hope I'm going into remission. And then I was still able to go into some caves and work on the bat film. And I really tried hard because I have to always be there because I like it so much, you know.
We're going to fight this thing all the way through, and with modern drugs, who knows? There may be a cure next year.
Yes.
So you just keep your body in shape as much as possible and carry on making films.
Yeah.
We're both very, very interested in natural history. It's our thing in life, really.
Holy moly, holy moly. I don't have anything. Then you see your idea, come to life. And that's a really, really important and challenging thing.
God, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it is really beautiful. Great.
I can't imagine a job which has so much reward, certainly for me. Well, it's not really work, is it? It's just a way of life.
Way of life for us. And I wouldn't do anything else.